Hello everyone and welcome to part 4 of our Flappy Bird mobile game series. In this series we will be creating a save game, a high score system. So let's get started. First we need a to create a class of type game instance. Okay, let's call it game info instance. Let's create a class. Okay, now we need another class Unreal interface. Let's call it game instance interface. Okay. Then we need a third class for save game. So search for save game, choose this one, click next, and let's call it game save. Create class. Okay, so when this happens, sometimes this might happen, so just click on no in here. Go here. And now you need to right click on Unreal Engine project. So right click on it and generate Visual Studio project files. Now open Visual Studio and launch the game with Ctrl F5. Okay, let's check it out. And it's here, game save. Nice. Okay. Now let's start in the game save. We need to add a integer for a high score to store the high score. So int high score equal 0, and let's give it a u property. It's necessary to have u property, and u property save game, otherwise it's not gonna work. So when we save the game it will save properly. However, when we load the game, if we don't have this u property save game, the high score will always return 0. Okay, now we need a function to set the high score. So set high score, new high score parameter, and high score, simply high score is equal to new high score. Great. Now close this, we don't need it anymore. Let's go to our game instance interface and declare two functions. One for save, so virtual void save game, save file slot, sorry, and integer new high score equals 0. The second one is virtual void load high score, simply equals 0. Great. Now let's go to our game info instance. Let's implement the interface. Okay, and here we need to override the functions. So virtual void save game save high score equals 0, and virtual void load high score. No, sorry, not equals 0. It's override here too. Okay. and we need a string for the slot name. So f string, let's call it high score, or let's call it say slot, save slot, save slot name equal high score slot. Okay, and let's make it constant actually. Great. Now in the save game, we want first to include the game save header, to include Kismet play statics, and include the game save header. Now we need to create a local variable for save game. So game save, let's call it save game instance. Uh, so save game instance is equal to cast first, of course, game save, gameplay statics, create save game object, game save static class. Okay, great. So now we are creating a save game object. So if it's created successfully, save game instance set high score, new high score, and save game. So game play statics, save game slot, and the save game object is save game instance. The slot name is the string we define, so save slot name, and the index is 0. Okay, so that's basically it. Now in the load high score, let's copy paste this here, and if not game play statics does save game exist, so if no save game exists, we should return 0 because it's the default high score, right? So return 0. Oh, we need to make integer, sorry, not void, because we wanted to return the high score, which is an integer. So int, change here, game instance interface, and change here. Return 0. Great. Okay. No save game exists. Return high score equal 0. So now, if it doesn't return 0, save game instance is equal cast gameplay statics. So if save game exists, just cast game save gameplay statics, load game from slot, and the slot name is slot save slot name index 0. Okay, so if save game instance return save game instance high score. Okay, it will return the high score. So if no save game exists, we return high score, which is 0, the default. And if it exists, then we load it. Then when we load it, we return the high score saved inside the save game instance, the game save class. Now, if none of this works, so if no game save exists and for some reason we fail to cast, we return 0. Okay. So we're done now. Let's go to our gameplay widget header, and in here let's copy this here and say name it high score. Let's create a function void set high score text integer high score. Now let's copy paste this and change to high score. Let's compile our code. And let's add a text for the high score. So text, let's call it high score text. Size to content and maybe change the font. So high score 0 or yeah 0, it's fine. Now let's give it some good look. Maybe change the outline to 3 or 2, 3, whatever you find perfect. And let's change the translation a little. Great. Now let's try it. It's too small, we need to make it bigger. So let's change the font to maybe 150. Oof, no. 50 or it's still small in my opinion. Yeah, that's good. That's fine. 70 is fine. Great. Now let's change this to 200 because it's very small also. Okay. Now let's go back to our widget, and in here now we need to load the game in the begin play in the native construct, so we can populate the set high score also function. So if get word, or no, we already have it here. Why do it again? So inside of it, if you game instance, you game instance second get word get game instance. Um, we need to change the game info instance to game instance. Okay, nice. It's working now. So if it's valid, we want to cast to game info game instance interface. So game instance let's change this to game instance interface. Game instance interface game info instance game instance interface is equal to cast game instance interface cast game instance is equal to cast game instance interface. and the cast object is game instance. Um, I I forgot the semicolon here. So if game instance interface game, let's create a variable for the high score. So a local variable. So integer high score equal to game instance interface load high score and set high score text high score. Okay, awesome. Next, we need to go to our character and declare class iGame instance interface. Let's copy paste game instance interface. Where is it? Begin play. Here it is. So inside the ifcat word, we need to also get a reference. Let's just copy paste this here because it's the same and delete this. Okay. Now we need to load the high score and store it in a variable. So game instance interface get let's create include the header load high score, but we need to make a variable for it. So integer high score, and here high score equal this load and load high score. Okay. The reason we're doing that is because later on we need a reference to our high score inside the character class. So now when we die, if the score is bigger than the high score, okay, we need to save the game. So if game instance interface, save game, save high score, score. Let's compile. Now here, when we save the game, we will get a save. Oops. Oh, okay. So easy fix. Here we need to get rid of iGame instance interface because we already have it in our header. We cannot declare it twice. It's shadowing here. You see, we declared it here and then we declared it here, which is not right. Great. Let's test it out. So now if we die and we restart the game, we get 0, which is not right. And there is no save. It didn't save at all. So why? Hmm. Um, Save high score. So the reason was because in our project settings we didn't set in maps and modes we didn't set our game instance to be our custom game, for instance. So now it should work. If we go and score 1, 2, and we die, then we go here and the save game is saved, it's created, and if we start it says 2. Nice, this is our high score. Great, it's loading and saving, but however we don't want it to just say 2, we want it to say, like for example, high score 2. Okay, so let's go ahead in our gameplay widget and set high score text here. Let's delete this and let's create a string, f string, formatted high score is equal f string printf um, text high score and decimal d and high score. Sorry. Now we set the high score text. So high score set text f text from string, and the string is formatted high score. Okay, it should work now. Let's go test it. Let's try, and high score 2. Nice. Okay, great. So I think that's it for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it and you learned something. Um, and I will see you on the next one, where we will be creating a main menu. When the player starts the game, it doesn't automatically start. Okay, he has to press on the screen in order to be able to play. The game starts. Okay, so don't forget to like, comment if you have any questions, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.